Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, MoveStoNext. On this channel, you'll have the opportunity to learn a lot. It will ignite the passion within you to achieve something great. So, let's begin. In every class, there's always one person who mistakes kindness for weakness. The kind of person who smiles in your face while quietly taking advantage of you. 9 out of 10 people stay silent when that happens. But I wasn't one of them. I still remember the first time I met him. He was new, loud, confident, the type that walks into a room and instantly starts talking like he owns it. I was part of a tiny group of kids who loved computers and games. We weren't cool, we weren't the ones at parties. We were the ones sharing floppy disks and trading software like it was gold. When this new guy said his uncle had stacks of games we'd never even heard of, it felt like a miracle. Finally, someone who spoke our language. He smiled, joked, and said, "Hey, let's trade. Whatever you've got, I'll copy and bring back tomorrow." Tomorrow came, then the next, then the next. What we got back were broken disks, corrupted files, and excuses. But the worst part wasn't losing the games. It was realizing we'd handed over everything to someone who never planned on giving anything back. Every time I saw him bragging about his collection, something in my chest burned hotter. He'd flash a grin and say, "Guess my uncle's cooler than yours." He even mocked the stuff we cared about, our love for computers, our obsession with technology. "You guys act like those machines are your girlfriends," he'd sneer, and everyone laughed. That's when I realized he didn't just want what we had, he wanted to make us feel small for ever trusting him. I tried ignoring him, I tried pretending it didn't matter, but late at night, sitting in the glow of my monitor, that anger crept back in. "He thinks we're weak," I kept repeating to myself. "He thinks he got away with it." Weeks passed, the tension built, and then one morning, our teacher announced a mandatory school event, a Youth Awareness Day, hosted by a community group promoting respect and positive behavior. Everyone had to attend. He rolled his eyes the whole time, whispering sarcastic comments, but as he laughed, I started to get an idea. At the end of the event, the organizers handed out brochures and little volunteer sign-up cards. "Help promote kindness in your community," the paper said. It was cheesy, but official-looking. Logos, signatures, everything. That night I told my best friend what I was thinking. She froze for a moment, then her face lit up with the same spark I felt. We didn't have much power in school, but we did have something most kids didn't. A home printer and a lot of creativity. We stayed up half the night designing a letter that looked completely official. The logo, the fonts, even the contact details, we copied everything perfectly from the event's brochure. The letter read, "Dear student name, thank you for your enthusiastic participation during our Youth Awareness Day. We were impressed by your willingness to speak up about the importance of respect and inclusion. Your application to serve as a peer mentor in our Respect initiative has been received. We will soon contact your parents for final approval of your volunteer hours." At the bottom, we printed a fake signature and added a glossy sticker from the brochure's folder to make it look authentic. Then we sealed it in a plain envelope and mailed it to his house. The next few days were torture and excitement all at once. Every morning I'd glance across the classroom waiting for some sign that he'd gotten it. On the third day I saw him walk in late, jaw tight, eyes dark. He sat down without saying a word. The room felt heavier. At lunch, whispers started spreading. Someone said his dad was furious. Apparently, the foundation had called, or so his father thought, and congratulated them on their son. His volunteer commitment. His parents believed he'd signed up for extra community service to fix his attitude problem. He'd been grounded. No games, no TV, no friends. And worst of all for him, his father made him promise to attend every single follow-up meeting that didn't even exist. Watching him squirm was intoxicating. But beneath the satisfaction there was a strange calm. We hadn't hurt him. We just handed him a mirror and made him stare at himself. A few days later he cornered me near the lockers. His voice was low and sharp. "Did you send that letter?" I blinked. "What letter?" He clenched his fists but didn't say anything else. That was the moment I knew he suspected but couldn't prove a thing. The following week, though, the thrill turned to tension. Our principal called me and my friend into the office. On the desk sat the letter. My heart dropped. Sitting across from us were his parents, looking furious. The principal asked calmly, "Do either of you know anything about this?" For a second I wanted to lie, but then I remembered why we'd done it, so I nodded. Yes, we wrote it. I expected shouting, punishment, maybe even suspension. But instead the principal asked why. We told him everything, how he'd tricked us, stolen from us, laughed at us. We didn't sugarcoat it, and we didn't make excuses. The room went quiet. The principal turned to him. "Is that true?" He didn't answer. His silence said everything. We got a warning, sure, a note home and a lecture about responsibility, but as we walked out, I caught a glimpse of his father's face. Disappointment mixed with realization. For once, it wasn't directed at me. After that day, the air at school changed. He stopped making jokes about us, stopped bragging. He wasn't exactly friendly, but the smirk was gone, and oddly enough, he started keeping to himself. Sometimes I'd catch him glancing my way, like he wanted to say something but couldn't. Maybe an apology, maybe not. I didn't need it, because the point of the revenge wasn't to ruin him. It was to take back the power he'd stolen from us. He thought kindness was weakness. We taught him it wasn't. Looking back now, years later, I understand something deeper. When you're young and someone betrays you, revenge feels like the only thing that can make it right. But the truth is, what heals you isn't revenge. It's the moment you stop feeling powerless. That letter wasn't cruel. It was creative justice. It was our way of standing up when we couldn't fight back any other way. And it taught me a lesson I still carry. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to hit to make an impact. Sometimes the quietest moves make the loudest echoes. People always ask if I regret it. No, because for the first time, I learned that respect doesn't come from fear. It comes from boundaries. And when someone crosses yours, you have every right to remind them that trust, once broken, is not something you can just reboot. So if you've ever been taken for granted, remember this. Kindness is powerful, patience is powerful, and when used together, they can make even the most arrogant person rethink what power really means. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't to destroy someone, it's to make them face the truth they've been running from. If that story gave you a little sense of justice, tap the like button and share it with someone who needs a reminder that karma always keeps receipts. And if you've got your own story of poetic payback, tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear it.